Hi, I'm Mrs. McLean. I am currently a 5th grade teacher here at Cuba Elementary School. I have taught here this is actually my 10th year here. I got my pen this year, and so that's exciting. While I've been here, I have taught 4th, 5th, and 6th grade before 6th grade headed out to the middle school, high school building. I grew up in Canton. I graduated from Canton High School in 2004, and then I went to Millikan University where I got a degree in communication. And before I could take off from there, I had been subbing a little bit after my degree, and so I decided to go back to Western and actually complete my teaching degree there. So I did that, and I was placed here at Cuba with Mrs. McCombs, who teaches 3rd grade, and I did my student teaching there and was hired on before the next school year as the 6th grade teacher. My family is from Canton. My connection to Cuba is fairly deep. My aunt used to be the high school principal here, and my father was actually the pharmacist at the Main Street Pharmacy for many years before he went to work with Hy-Vee. So I have one brother. He lives in Wisconsin. He is a pharmacist. I am married to my husband Aaron, who is a physician assistant, and I have one daughter who is 7, and she's currently in 1st grade here at Cuba Elementary.
I'm Mrs. Hughes, and I teach 5th grade here at Cuba Elementary. I have been here for 5 years, but I've been teaching for 15. Thanks for asking. It's my favorite topic, my family. My husband and I live on the edge of Canton. He works at Caterpillar, and of course I'm here at Cuba Elementary. We have 3 kids together. Our oldest daughter is a nurse, and her husband live in northern Illinois on a farm, and I have become a grandma for the first time. He is not a year yet. His birthday is in March. He'll be a year. His name is Warren, and my whole life began when he was born. I'm very excited. And then we have our middle son, Ryan. He has a degree in science and outdoor recreation, and he works a lot with fisheries and things like that in the lab. And then our youngest, his name is Kevin, and he is a Marine, a U.S. Marine, and currently he's deployed right now, but him and his wife live in North Carolina, and we get a lot of pride for his service. He has always, since a little boy, wanted this dream, and he's now a sergeant, so we're really proud.
Some things that I like to do outside of school, mainly I focused on my family. As I said before, I have a daughter in 1st grade, and so we spend a lot of time together doing all kinds of things. She loves to color, do sticker books, do STEM kits, those types of things. We try to do family workouts and be active because being healthy and moving every day is important. We like to play board games, watch movies, all those types of things. However, before the world changed, we used to spend most of our weekends traveling to see my in-laws who lived in Southern Illinois and my brother who lives in Wisconsin, but we haven't done that lately, but we're excited to do it again.
My husband and I share a lot of hobbies together. The first thing is we are off-roading Jeepers. We're kind of those crazy people that look for dirt and gravel and try to climb things, and so we get a lot of our tension from the week out on the road, and we are a part of a big Jeep club that goes through the neighborhood. You'll see us in Cuba and all over the place. We also ride motorcycles, and occasionally I become that biker on the back, and really enjoy the open road of just the freeing of being on motorcycles with friends. I love to read by myself, and I also love to create. I'm a creative person, so not just crafty things, but artistic things. So that's kind of how I express myself.
There are many different ways that Mrs. Hughes and I prepare our students to leave our building and go out to the larger middle school, high school at the beginning of the fall next year. When things were normal, we would typically at the end of the year take a trip out to the junior high where they would be able to tour the building, they would be able to walk through some classrooms, see some teachers, even see some of their older friends who have already transitioned out to that school, and so it was always a very exciting day. Mr. Brown, who is the administrator out there, would send a survey out and ask open-ended questions so that they could be answered in a safe environment where there was no judgment going into the unknown. This year, obviously, I'm hoping we can do something like that. Obviously, we will have to wait and see. But in our own classrooms, what we like to do is make sure that they are grasping their own autonomy, meaning that they are able to use their own judgments and their own skills to take ownership over their own learning and their own lives. So they have planners, they do have due dates that they are expected to turn things in, they are expected to pack themselves up with all of the things that they need going back and forth, and so that's something that we try to ingrain in them, that it is their job and their responsibility to make sure that they take care of themselves, because out there it is a transition into more independence.
Two really big things in 5th grade that I try to stretch students in is supporting their thinking. Every child can come up with opinions, and they have plenty of them. I know that you know, and I know they have plenty of opinions. But now in 5th grade, you have to have a rationale for your opinion. What makes you, you, and what makes your opinion, what proof and support can you come up with that gives you reason? And reason is the key to all thinking. And that's where I'm trying to let them lead me to more details about where they're coming from. And I can agree or disagree, but I really respect how they can support themselves with not just opinion, but if they're a fact, can they support their facts? So a lot of times it definitely takes practice to be able to just not say yes or no, but the why. That is a huge part of 5th grade. The second thing in math is problem solving with multiple steps. So a lot of times in the younger elementary, they do a function, a problem, and then they come up with an answer. In 5th grade, there are multiple steps before they can come up with a final answer. And any time in that process, if something goes awry or something goes wrong, obviously you come to the wrong answer. So being able to keep on track with the steps, being very accurate, and then coming to the right solution is a big part of 5th grade.
What this year has been different is astronomical. I think if you really tried to zoom out and look at it, everything seems so strange and so different. However, I think that there have been many unique and positive changes. I think it's safe to say that education following this year will forever look different. I think we have changed some things that have definitely been for the better. The children are much more responsible. They've learned so much about technology, but you know, when they were remote, they were up, they were ready to go to see their friends, even if it was in a little box. And I think the relationships that we're so used to forming in the classroom, amazingly enough, translated through a screen. And we've just been able to create a community still. I'm very lucky in that I'm one of the few classrooms where all of my students have now returned in person. So they are able to continue what they started maybe remotely in person with one another. They're very good at taking care of one another, even though they do need to stay apart. They do still have relationships with each other, and I know that's something we were worried about, but we don't need to.
I want everybody to know I have worked in other school districts, and I've subbed when I first came here in this area for about a year before I decided to take a job here in Cuba. And what I discovered is we have a little jewel here. We have a community that almost is like a private education. Our small class sizes are very involved staff and teachers. So for me, I had other job offers, but I took Cuba on purpose. I love this community, and I love my coworkers. The other thing is I'm a huge Vikings fan, and I know, people boo us all the time, but my family, we're Vikings. My grandparents are from Sweden and Norway, and so these are my people. And don't you know, my auntie's from Minnesota. They would be so mad at me if I love the Bears like you do, or the Packers. I am a Vikings fan, and I get booed often by my class, but they love me anyway.